Hello and welcome to today's podcast. My name is Angela Brooks. I am your host. This is podcast number 65. And today I want to talk about the 3 steps to become a pioneer in your business. This is also a blog post that you can read over on angelabrook.com. So you can listen to the podcast and read along if you'd like. If not, then I hope that you will listen to this podcast and leave a comment and share it at the end of this podcast. There's 3 steps. They're pretty simple to become a pioneer in your business. And, everybody in business talks about being a rock star in their network marketing company or how to become a pioneer that blazes the trails. And, so I went over to the dictionary and I looked up pioneer. It's a noun, and it is a person who is among the first to explore or settle a new country or an area. So what does it take to become a pioneer, a future pioneer in your industry or your business? Is number 1, you decide and you declare, and you prepare a clear declaration of your intention to become a pioneer. When I started in business, everybody was telling me what I had to do or what I needed to do, or this is what we do in this business. And I found that it didn't resonate with me, and I didn't enjoy doing things like everybody else. I guess that's a little bit of the rebel in me that makes it fun to do business my way. And I just decided and declared that I was going to do it my way regardless. And 10 years later, I'm still doing that. So the next thing, number 2, is to commit to a community. Find a group of people that you can talk to, that you can learn from, that you can engage with, that you can grow with. You're not going to grow the same on your own because you are still thinking like the old you, and you need to be incorporating some new ideas and some new methods that you can learn and tweak from other people. You don't have to do what they do exactly, but just taking it and tweaking it to make it your own. I do have a group that I have been connected to for over 5 years, and I would love to have you in that group with me. You can find that over on angelabrook.com. There is a link at the top. And number 3 is just get started. I know that sounds cliche, and I know it sounds super easy, and actually it is. The biggest thing that people don't do is stay committed to what they decided they wanted to do. It gets hard, or they get bored, or they feel like they don't know what kind of content to use, or they don't know who to talk to. So being inside of a community that can lift you up when you're having those down moments, and I don't care what level of business that you are in, you're always going to have those situations and those times where you're not 100%. But when you're in a community and you can reach out to people that are trying to do and doing the same thing that you are, it's really helpful, so that they can help you get yourself out of your own head, which is where a lot of people stumble. And we always fall back to the comfort zone of what we know and what we've always done. But in order to grow a business, we have to do things we've never done before. So you're going to be told that there's so many different ways to run a business. And guess what? You can run the damn business the way you want to. It's yours. And you don't have to have permission from anybody to do it a certain way, as long as you are getting results. Now, if you're not getting results, you need to tweak some things. You need to get some things moving. So be open and coachable so that you can learn how to do things that produce actual results. And you get to pick the things that light you up, and let all the other things just pass you by, because whatever you choose to do, it's up to you to become consistent. And let's be really honest. If you hate what you're doing, you're not going to do it consistently. But you can do you on your level. Make a movement of your own. Do business the way you want to, and you might going to be opening the door for other people to follow behind you just because they like your method over somebody else's. Do what you love, because if you don't, then business gets really hard. And you can also blend what you do and what you love into your products that you're selling. It just all becomes a part of who you are. It doesn't become, here's Angela over here on this side, and here's her business over on this side. We are one unit, and it goes with me everywhere that I go. So that when I'm out and about, or if I am, say, at a soccer game or a baseball game with my boys, whatever, I am open to a conversation with anybody that I meet at all times. My business doesn't have open and close hours. And I know some people are like, I'm not working on a weekend. I'm not working on a Saturday. But you might meet the ideal person for you if you're open for a conversation on those days that you call your off days. So learn how to incorporate your business into your lifestyle and not just business here, person here. Make it a one unit, and you'll find that things will flow and it becomes natural. And that's what people are drawn to, is the natural builder. You know, when I first got started as a blogger, I knew not a damn thing about blogging whatsoever. And I was told that a blog would never work. It just would not work. And I was usually getting information like that from people who didn't have a blog. So was I going to take their information to heart? Absolutely not. If you've built a blog, I'm going to listen to you, and I'm going to tweak what I'm doing along the way. But there's a lot of people that will tell you what you can't do, and it's usually the people who aren't doing it. So I was also told that sending out emails to a list was a waste of time from someone who had never used email marketing. And then I started following a friend of mine, Diane Hockman. If you've never met Diane, she was a stay-at-home mom who used email marketing, and she makes around $1 million a year. Not bad for something that doesn't work, right? And that is all she does, is the simple tools. And so I followed her methods, and they worked for me. I was also told that LinkedIn was a resume platform for a job. And I met somebody out in San Diego, California, when I was out speaking at an event, and over lunch found out that this person was as interested in LinkedIn as I was. And I couldn't really tell you at the time what was so intriguing about LinkedIn at the time. I just wanted to know everything that I could possibly learn. And this particular person was also using LinkedIn. So we engaged in an immediate conversation, and he shared some things that he did. And I was connected with someone that I spent 90 days with in one of her coaching classes and learned a lot about LinkedIn I had never heard from before. So I'm now teaching those same secrets in the Pulse of LinkedIn, which you can find over on my blog, angelabrook.com, where I show you the simple things that people miss. I did, and I'm sure you do too, because LinkedIn is not just a resume platform. It is a business building connection machine. And I spend less than an hour a day over on LinkedIn. I make a post update. I post anywhere from 1 to 3 stories a day, and I go on about my business. And then I'll come back later and I'll check for messages. I will check for comments and engagement. And I have really connected with some powerful people that I otherwise would not have met without that platform, because it is about business, but there's also a way to work that platform that doesn't work on Facebook. You know, being a pioneer in your business, you get to cut the path the way that you choose to do and build your own empire. Pioneers are people who are willing to go out on the edge and do things differently than everybody else, which is the way it should be, because that's what makes us unique, that makes us stand out. Everybody, you don't have to do a cookie cutter business. And there will always be new pop-ups, new social platforms, new tools, new widgets, new concepts. And it all boils down to one thing: talking to people who are looking for what you're already offering. There is no magic wand. There's no red or blue pill that makes things happen fast. they are already looking and Googling for the information that you already have. So it's your job to get out in front of those eyeballs and to just pop up in front of people that are Googling or they're searching for what they're using keywords, and keywords is what makes people pop up on the internet. Usually people, they don't generally look past the third page when they're Googling something. So if you're not putting a lot of content out there, you're not going to be seen near as much as if you were consistently doing content. Another reason that I love LinkedIn is Google and LinkedIn are best friends. I call them first cousins, because what you put on LinkedIn can be Googled and found with a Google search. So it's your job to be seen, and it's your job to connect with people every single day, because people are our business. Having conversations is what attracts that connection. So the fun part about business is you get to do it your way, but there's no reason to work hard when you can work smart and just go to the places that people are already hanging out. I use my blog, AngelaBrooke.com. I use an email list. I use Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So if you're on any of those platforms, I hope that you'll look me up. And every platform is Angela Brooke without the S. So you can find me. There's an attorney in Chicago that has my S, and she did offer to sell me that URL so that I could be corrected my spelling of my name. And she wanted 10 grand. So I was like, nah, you can keep that. I don't need my S that bad. So, but you can always find me. I'm consistent with my namesake on every platform and the same picture. So I'm easy to find. So what all pioneers know for sure is this: not everybody's going to agree with you. Not everybody's going to support you or your method of business. And you know what? It's okay. I blogged for 6 months before I got my first comment on my blog. And I hope that you'll leave one here on this podcast. And if you are going from the podcast over to the blog and you find this blog post over there, that you'll leave a comment there as well. I've used social media since the beginning of Facebook, and I have learned how to get people talking on my wall, leaving hundreds of comments on my blog post or on the blog. I left a URL to one of the comments on Facebook. So you can go and see there's hundreds of comments on on several posts, and it is really actually fun to me, and to engage and get to know people. And it's just simply have a conversation. So that leads to other comments and conversations and referrals. Even though I'm talking to somebody on Facebook doesn't mean that that's going to be my customer. But I have had people say, hey, I found another nurse that was looking to do something like you. And here, I'm going to connect you to in Messenger. So I've had lots of connections by just referrals, and I love referrals. So I have learned how to have a conversation on LinkedIn as well. And LinkedIn has a scorecard. It's called your SSI score. And I've had up to 82% conversation rate, and I'm in the top 1% in my industry ranking. So LinkedIn tells you how well you're doing in starting conversations, connecting with new people, and asking questions and just being engaged on the platform. And if you're not engaged, they're also going to give you a really shitty score. So that's one thing that I like about LinkedIn is every single person that comes to your profile and looks at your LinkedIn page, it's going to give you a notification so that you can go look at their page and see if there's something that you can connect with. Not all responses that you get on all these different platforms are going to be people that you want to talk to. But if you start that connection, you never know if that's going to lead to a referral. So dive deeper, learn some secrets about LinkedIn. Let me show you how to get those conversations started if you've been struggling with that for whatever reason, whatever excuse you want to use. But I want you to become a pioneer who commits to the process. Being a pioneer in our business and doing things our way is why we are different than everybody else that's in the same exact company as you are. When somebody says that, oh, that company is saturated, what they mean is they haven't figured out how to stand out. And being a pioneer is exactly how you stand out in a sea of people that are exactly the same. You're in business for the long haul. You're not in this for a one night stand. I worked at my last physical job for 25 and a half years, and I expected a paycheck for the hours that I put in. And if I didn't go to work, I knew that on payday, there wouldn't be money there waiting for me. Your business is a process that for most of us is not fast. Um, and if you don't give your business 2 to 4 hours a day and you're a true loyal customer to your own company, then you can't expect other people to do the same thing. To become a pioneer, you have to put in the work for the paychecks to show up. If your paychecks look like crickets, that's telling you the work that you're putting in. You can't be shocked or surprised when you aren't connecting to people that income comes from. So make sure you're on my email list, because I'm always giving you little short nuggets and tips that you can incorporate into your own business, your style, your way. Leave a comment here on the Apple Podcast, or jump over to angelabrooke.com and find the blog post. The name of it is 3 Steps to Become a Pioneer in Your Business on angelabrooke.com. I'd love to see your face and hear from you. So that is the end of podcast number 65. I would wish you all the success that you can handle in your business, and I will see you on the next podcast on Blogging for Profits.